21 principles of success. These principles are what make the top 0.01% of people successful. Some of these principles are what I've used to make my first $1 million at 27 years old. Just like trying to compare your first book to John Maxwell's 13th book. What I would encourage you to consider is, what could you do for a decade? Instead of beating yourself up after 6 months of trying, 3 years of trying, 5 years of trying, actually start at the beginning and say, I'm gonna do this for a decade. I'm gonna commit to this for the next 10 years. Just like when I started my YouTube channel, I said I will publish every week for the rest of my life. And I've done it now for almost 9 years. Here's the reality. You can tell how successful someone is by how far in the future they are thinking. If you're planning in years or months, you're just not thinking big enough. You want to dedicate a decade to a goal that is, I don't know how I'm gonna achieve it, but I know if I showed up every day for a decade and dedicated myself, that I would win. I would encourage people to give themselves a life sentence, because then it's a way of being and who they are, the identity, not something you do. I've learned a long time ago that my self-worth is not tied to external success. My self-worth is not tied to possessions, is not tied to recognition, it's not tied to anything external. I can decide, you can decide in this moment to feel enough. See, I want you to design a life that you want to live, not this future place that someday maybe you get to, and in that moment you'll feel successful enough to vacation, to tell people how much you appreciate them. See, if you had to take one principle away from these 21 principles, it would be this one. There's no place to get to. The process is to learn to enjoy the journey, to actually fall in love with the work, to be excited that you get to do what you get to do every day. But there is no place to get to, because you attract who you are. And the more you realize that you already are enough, you get to attract more of that into your life.